Ah, right. If there's anybody on watching me, first thing I'm going to have to say is I apologise. Oh dear, talk about all fingers and thumbs. Right, I'd followed all you wonderful lot out there, had a look to see how you go on with scheduling, did my level best to schedule anything, and managed to schedule 2 lots of broadcasts. And then I thought, well, that's all well and good, but what do you do after to actually get onto the broadcast? So I've sat here poised and ready because I've got a scheduled broadcast on StreamYard. I'm all ready to go. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Right? I've just got absolutely nothing. Hi, Samantha. I'm just in the middle of apologising. Oh dear, think about the Phil Collins advert with the monkey banging a drum, and that's me today with this tech. I'd say I've looked at putting 2 different scheduled broadcasts on, and I've got them mixed up. And so the one that I knew was on and ready to go was on StreamYard, and I've just pressed go, and it says this broadcast has already been deleted, and it's like, I don't know. I truthfully don't know. So I'm at the mercy of stubby fingers here. I really need an agent. I need somebody who will come in and sort this out. I did hire Kevin the Carrot from Aldi's at one point to oversee what I'm doing, but he quit in disgust. So I'm in a bit of a funny mood today, guys. So I'll just see if anybody else comes on, because I've got 4 people on now. So let me know that you're there, guys. So the format is as it's always been. Oh, there we go. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, the format's going to be what I do on Facebook, readings and a bit of a natter. And for those of you that might join in from outside the country, natter for me in Lincolnshire, in Lincoln, England, is all about having a good old chat. And it's just, I also want to link in with people's energies as well. I don't know if anybody else has been struggling a little bit with how the energies have been in general. I think this is quite a big worldwide thing. That there's this feeling of unsettlement around me. Yesterday, I really, really struggled. It's been a long while since I've been that flat in energy. My guides have just basically given me that time to take a step back, and they're just stepping through really strong. It's really funny as well when I'm looking around this room, what I'm in. This is the treatment room. We have a table set up, and I'm all prepared with me wolf pyramid there, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm sat here with 2 decks of cards, which is my Josephine Ellishaw deck of cards, and I've just opened these, the angelic message cards from and I always forget her name, and if she ever watches one of these, I'll be getting told off. So Stephanie King, if you ever want these are, I feel that these are really, really simple. I absolutely love doing these cards as well. But the ones I'm working with at the show, they've got a bit worn now. So I've just opened a new box because she was kind enough to gift me with some. So thanks very much for joining me. If anybody wants any cards, please let me know. I've seen Jennifer's there, and I will do that in a moment. Yeah, just picking up on what the energy's been like around me. It's been really strange. I felt really unbalanced. There's been a need to go and get grounded. And I don't know why. Yesterday, I just felt the need for self-protection as well. The energy around me, I thought, there's no good. Sometimes there's just no good fighting. There's no good battling. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So yesterday, I kind of like on the subs bench, sat the day out. I did a couple of jobs that I had to get done around the house, being the house husband that I am. And then today I've got up and seen how I was going to fare today. Went out. I don't know if anybody's seen the weather in around our area. Wow, we had a storm mid-afternoon. And wow, I've not seen anything that heavy for a long, long time. So I shot out because one of the archways we've got in the garden was blowing all over the place. So I had to get it all clipped and tied up. I'd been up in the gutters a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, I wonder if that'll clear it now. Wow, did it? It flooded all of the drains and all of that sort of stuff. So there I am getting belted with rain. I tell you what, though, it certainly helped me ground and get myself back to earth. So I'm a little bit grateful for that. So today, am I 100%? no, I'm still feeling that little bit of a tiredness hangover there. But I think sometimes, and I say this quite a lot to people, you can be in the place where you are tired, but if you dwell and get yourself stuck in that place of inactivity and that sedentary lifestyle, it's sometimes a real struggle to shift yourself out of it. And I've said many, many times on my different podcasts, I'm quite mood driven as well. So if I get up in one of them frames of mind, often it takes time to shift it. So the answer yesterday was to go out into the garden and do a little bit of tree removal and things like that. The physical labour took my mind off my sort of mental energy slump. I got up today and there's the recovery from that. And then we go again. So I was really motivated to put my latest production on early on. And now I've come in here because I've agreed to do this. And we'll see how it goes. Because the one thing, and I want to say this to anybody out there who's possibly developing or looking at doing this sort of thing yourself, right? Spirit will never push you to do anything. They'll always give you that a distance, if you like, to make that free will decision. And the non-coercive and non-judgmental. So even if you've started one of these and you're really famous and you've got tons of numbers, if you don't want to do it, Spirit won't push you to do it. So there's no guilt or anything like that. So I've come on here willingly and connecting with whoever comes on here. So it is my honour and my pleasure to start working. It's been lashing it down in Belfast. Wow. We've been fairly lucky in the sense that it sort of came over really dark, because yesterday what I've decided to do now going forward is to take at least half an hour to an hour out to just read as much as I can. I like non-fiction, I like fiction books. That's my thing, James Patterson, and I like to read those books. So I'm taking time out now, rather than sitting in front of the telly and just watching mind-numbing rubbish, or sitting here wondering why I ain't got numbers, why I ain't done this, no, I'm just going to have a little bit of escapism and work with my mindset. If there's a need for the physical, I'll go to the gym. If there's a need for the mental stimulus, I shall start reading my books again. I've just bought a load, so I'm happy to go. Right, before I get going there, let me just say hello there. Hello, Dizzy J. Welcome and thanks for coming. I really appreciate that. Right, so I can't highlight them on here because I was going to, or can I? Let me just have a look. I'm just checking because I'm on StreamYard, but I'm not quite sure. Just bear with me, guys, because it's my usual form. Oh, there we go. Right. So what I'm doing, because I've not got many on, I can take a little bit more time here, guys. So the idea is, I watched fortune cookies thing the other day, right? And I was a little bit I don't know what the right words were, right? So she's got this vast knowledge, talks about doing spreads and different decks and things like that, and the House of Toth, and I'm just sat there going, right, I just sit there and I just connect in with whatever I've got, the feeling around them cards. I had quite a lot of hours training to read tarot cards, but the majority of my work is all about what I sense and what I pick up. So my thought was today to do a couple of cards with a tarot and then lay an angel card with it. So progression over the course of the next couple of weeks. And then if there's any stumbling blocks or anything holding you back, to just go like this, right? Hold that there, not do a lot of shuffling, and go right that and pull. Oh, there's two dropped out. So that's what you'll get. Right, okay. And that's it. It's going to be as simple as that. No overthinking it. No getting analytical about it. Just look at it. Right. So there we go. Now, Jennifer. So 4 cards. And this is my storytelling way of interpreting this. Hiya, Adi. Hope you're well. Thanks very much for coming on there. I'm hoping to drag a few more people across from Facebook. So I've got 1,900 followers on Facebook, but everybody's got to start somewhere. And I've had such fabulous support from some of the bigger names on Facebook. It's been amazing. You know, the Fitness Hutch and Trevor Cull and 1 or 2 others. It's just been amazing. So anyway, don't let me get too distracted because I've got a bit of an airhead. I know I ain't quite got a load of air on there, but some of the energy's leaking out. Right, so your story, right, is one of progression. It's one of nurture. It's one of growing. It's one of growth. But there's a little bit of a problem there with the confidence. There's a little bit of a problem with the procrastination and holding back and showing your true worth and shining your light. So I'm looking at these cards there. Right. So if I look at, right, so I've got two cards there. I've got compassion and I've got conflict. Now then, I don't know you, Jennifer, unless I've met you somewhere and I can't remember, because that's me. I'm awful for it. I speak to so many people, but I'm very, very grateful for you coming on here. Right. So I get the feeling, and this is the sense and the feeling, that you're a very empathic type of person and that you do everything for everybody else. And something is telling me that you've kind of put your life on hold for the last year, maybe for a valid reason, for helping other people get through their stuff and organize their stuff. But it's kind of left this imprint in your mind now that that's how you handle everything, that you put everything else first. And if you've got any energy left at the end of the day, then you might apply it to whatever situation is going on around you. But this is where the issue comes in, because once you start to run out of energy and run out of steam and run out of direction, you're running on fumes, and then you'll start to think and you'll start to analyze. And I get the sense that there's something around you that needs your attention, but your conflict as such is that you're holding back because you've got too much of a load on. Right. Don't put other people's lives and their ambitions and everything that they need doing ahead of your own. Right. So for me, the feeling around this card is to say that you need some balance in your life. It's difficult if you're an empath, that you're one of these people that likes to help everybody, that likes to give everything that you've got. Compassionate, because it's talking about compassion there. So I've got the orangey red round it. Now, this is how I represent my little storyline here, that the red is about building. It is the base chakra. It is the root. So it's the center of everything that's now going to be built on going forward. So to do anything, we've got to have all of our tools. We've got to have all of our things in place and put that base unit down into place so that we can build on top of it. So going forward, I feel that there's a lot of work that needs doing on the inner mind, and maybe the sort of procrastinating, overthinking, overcompensating for something. I'm getting a gentleman's energy just coming in around me in spirit. That is, I feel like I'm tapping my chest. Now, this, when I work with spirit, can either be symbolic of the fact that I'm connecting in through the heart chakra, or he's bringing in that he passed to the spirit world with a heart attack. But I get a lovely, compassionate feeling around his energy. And he's got his arm around you. So I do feel that there's support and guidance heading your way. But what I'm being told by my guys is to say to you, don't be too proud to ask for help when you need it. Maybe it's time for you to get a little bit of payback. So don't argue against yourself, because I always see black as a great color. I don't do any darkness or negativity or anything like that, because what happens is that if you do that, you kind of, I think you put the energy off people. You don't drive them anywhere. My idea is always to inspire and lift people up. But black for me is a very protective colour. So sometimes when the going gets tough, we'll take a dip and we go down into the black to cover ourselves. It's like putting a big black blanket over you. But it becomes a habit over time. So this, what I am feeling with you, is it's now time to step out and come forward and put you at the forefront of whatever it is that you're wanting to get over the ground. And I'm talking over these next couple of weeks as well, to show yourself the same compassion that you do others. How are you going to do that? Well, we've got the lovely Sun card here, one of the most positive cards in the tarot deck. I don't know why I've suddenly started talking like that, darling, but there's somebody in there that is talking to me quite pronounced. So that is how I'm delivering it. Think of the person up there who is telling me about people minding their P's and Q's and minding their own business. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with that. But the Sun card is all about that nurture. It's all about that growth and shedding the light on. It is the most positive, one of the most positive cards in the tarot deck. But then I always find positivity in all cards. So nurture what it is that you want to grow. Don't be your own opposition. Don't be in conflict. So the Queen of Pentacles, right? Pentacles, money, finances, enrichment, bringing in growth. The lady there that's the Queen, very material, very, very earthbound, soul to the earth type of person. But what she does, she's got a way of dealing with things. So she will put things into place and make them be. And what she is, she's a lady of means. So have a look over the course of these next few weeks, I feel, Jennifer, that what is it that you want and how far away from it are you? So what tools do you need to gather to bring in this riches, enrichment, more money? So is it promotion? Is it a job change? Is it a move from something that you've been stuck in? But I feel with those cards, there's a lot of nurturing needs doing. There's a bit of a change of a mindset there, and you'll be absolutely okay. And take the gentleman's love with you, who's got a real sense of humour, and I'm loving how he's working with me. And listen in. I feel that now, thank you. I feel that I've got one of your guides with me, who's very, very upright in the way that he's delivering things. So start listening in. Start checking the inner ear. Start checking what's coming in, because I think there's a lot for you to write down and a lot for you to learn in a short space of time. So your busy weeks are imminent. So tie off your loose ends and crack on, and you'll be all right. Thank you. Liked and shared because it helps the algorithm. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, guys. Thank you very much. Help and sorry are the two hardest words to say. Not for me, not with my tech. Right, guys, keep the comments coming in. It has absolutely been lashing it down. We've just been speaking about that. I like so what we got there. I like Patterson books, Murder, Mystery and Mayhem. Well, for me, it's just pure escapism. I got two books right out of the off the bounce, which was The Woman's Murder Club and the Alex Cross stories. And now, over the course of about 10 years, I've been really invested in the characters. So now, as soon as I see one coming in, I've got to pick up where I left off, because I'm just totally invested in a fictional life. All right, there we go. Right, I'm new, so hi to all the regulars. Well, this is good, Samantha. I'm new on this channel. Right? I've been doing lives now for about 3-4 years, and I've gone from having a curtain behind me with my wolf blanket to somebody coming around and going, right, what you need to make this look a little bit professional is lighting and a webcam and all of this sort of thing. So at the minute, because it's summer, I haven't got my studio set up because the lighting's all fine. But usually what I tend to do is have lighting stanchions on there. I've got my green screen behind me, and then I've got all of the bells and whistles that you can put on with StreamYard. But I just thought I'll keep it simple today because, as I say, I'm just quite tired. So thank you. Here's a man that's an absolute legend, and whether he stays on or not, I just want to say thank you, because, as I say, if it weren't for him, this wouldn't have started. He was the first person on here to subscribe and give me the encouragement. I'm still finding my way, mate, but then in one sense, this is really unusual for me. I'm actually being quite patient for me with the tech. I've found that it's not worth getting agitated. It was a bit of a mess about getting this all set up today, and I've not quite got where I want to be with it, but we've got on here and I've got an audience, so thank you. AD, if you're still on, can you just let me know, because I'll do you some readings. Right, I'll just answer that. Yes, mate, I was. I got up this morning with a slightly different attitude, but I'm inspired by the guys that say that have got more of a following. Part of the reason for being on tonight is that I'm encouraged by your words that I've done the right thing in the way that I've got the growth. But my feeling is that if I take too long of a step back, the momentum that I've got started will disappear if you're not posting regularly, because it's like with news and things like that. Yes, today's news is tomorrow's chip paper. So my thought was that if I let that momentum go, but what I said to you, it's absolutely drained me these last couple of weeks, because I've gone so far outside my comfort zone with it that I'm not sure that I want to sit down and waste that. I am exhausted. Honestly, I am absolutely exhausted. But this is the pathway that I've chosen to go down on this spiritual route. I have chosen to put myself out there. I've mentioned a couple of times on my other videos there about sometimes when you put your head above the parapet, mate, you've got to be prepared to be shot. So there's that need, that drive to want to propel this to greater figures, because once I feel like I start reaching the bigger numbers, I'm going to build up what I feel is loyal people like you have done, and then it will grow, and then it will get other people coming in, and then I'll be able to reach them. I'm really, really guided by my guides here. So taking the sort of analytical side out of me, I'm bringing my spiritual side in. I'm really guided by my guides and inspirers at the moment to just amass people so that I can get them here within this healing energy. Because as soon as these broadcasts start, it's about bringing that healing energy across to people. So the tiredness is mental, it's not physical. I'm not like you guys that are out there doing a heavy day's work or anything like that. I pretty much please myself at the moment, but to enable me to be able to do that, I've got to work on this side of the thing. So it's just a no days off mentality. Right, let's get to that one. Can you have an angel card? Right, I haven't got my other ones up for you. So what I'm going to do for you, Jewel, if you're still on, and I hope you are, right, that one's fallen out, so we'll have that one. Right, with these being a new box, they're all out of a new box, they're all shiny, and they're all dead lively as well. I've been sat here watching like energy coming out of the computer. It's been amazing. There's been like loads of like blue flashes. Now, as I'm doing this and working around you, it's if you imagine throwing dust out there and it settles as it starts to come down from the computer. As I've thrown out these thoughts out to you, Joel, I've got communication, healing, and then I've got this pain in the back of my head. Now, right, I'm not taking this from anybody coming in from spiritual. What I'm taking this as is around you. I don't know what it is that you're struggling to communicate with and put your point across. But what I'm being told, it was interesting, we started speaking about having a break and taking some time off. This is what is being suggested to you, being a little bit more organized in what you're looking to achieve and whereabouts you are. So I always feel that a lot of the times with me, I always go bull at a gate, right? I get that enthusiasm and I often charge off unprepared, throw my heart at it. And if it doesn't hit the mark bang on, I get a little bit like crestfallen. And that when that happens and you do that, it's all well and good because you'll get so far with stuff. But then the bits that you didn't manage to achieve will start to weigh you down. And that's where I think that cumulatively, maybe a little bit like I was yesterday, there's that need to just take a step back and just rest in your own energies. Just see whereabouts you are and whereabouts you want to go. I'm just seeing the sat nav in my head there. The sat nav will take you down to the street where you want to go or the area that you want to go. But until you put the correct address in, you're always going to be sort of running around in circles. So what my guide is suggesting with you is a little bit more planning. I'm having the word compromise shouted at me. So I'm not quite sure whether that's you that needs to reach your compromise. I've got a feeling that it's you that needs to compromise on how much time you're spending on certain things and just sort of consolidate and concentrate on the things that give you the most joy. Your angel cards, yeah, absolutely right. The conflict cards come out again. So for me, that's battling against yourself, the inner conflict. You know, is that Paul spoke about it the other day about where your thoughts go, that's where your energy flows to. So the more that you think about I'm not achieving, the more lessons you get to learn about not achieving. So for me, it's all about patience. I very rarely have patience. So then if I don't have patience, I think about not having patience, get frustrated, and then have more opportunities to learn to get patience. So it's like a full circle. How are you going to achieve that? Well, balance. This is about balancing the black and the white, the yin and the yang. The things that we have to do can kind of like, right, we know we've got to do them. They have got to be done because that's part and parcel of your real life world that's out there. And I understand that, you know, we've all got our tasks that keep our little world turning. But when we've got other things there, right, start to weigh them up and having a look what is giving you the best payoff. What is giving you your better feeling? What is giving you stress and anxiety and worry? What is it that is holding you back at this moment in time? Center to this plot line is you, right? So for me, I'm a pain avoider. I don't like upset. I don't like arguing with people. And sometimes I have to put my foot down and turn around and go, this needs to stop because this is causing me aggravation or upset. Even if it's a case of having to go and have a conversation with somebody and say, look, I'm sorry, but I can no longer do this, or I can no longer give it my energy because I'm not prepared to run myself down into the floor. And like yesterday, when I had run myself down into the floor, I've got to find the root cause. Yesterday, I didn't find it, but most times I will find the reason why I'm trying to juggle so much and not still achieving that better feeling aspect of it all. Right, innocence. Now, innocence for me is almost like the fool in the tarot deck, that we're starting out with something new. We're starting out and there's going to be the element of surprise coming in. Right, so don't plot and plan too much. Just be. Flow with your life. There's lots of changes I feel in the pipeline for you, but don't sort of, oh, I can't do that. I don't, you're not a fool, right? So embrace the changes as they come in, if you want to, of course, because as I say, free will will never be trumped by anything that I say on here. You've got that personal responsibility aspect of it there, that if you're quite happy in your little bubble, then keep on doing whatever it is that you're doing. But my sense here is, going back to the days, and I always use the example of kids going to the seaside for an ice cream. If you say to most young'uns, right, you're going to the seaside, you're going to have an ice cream, you're going to have a nice day out, we'll go on the rides, we'll do the donkey, go on the donkeys and all of this sort of thing. The little one's going to turn around and go, yes, right, brilliant. I've got a day out, mum, dad, whatever the relationship is. And then there's no part of them that even enters into, oh, well, I don't know if there's enough money. I don't know if there's, there's the tyres are all right on the car. I don't know if Skegness or any other place is closed. All they're thinking is, right, I'm going out and I'm going to enjoy this experience. And that is as a result of innocence, because they're not tarred by, outside experiences. They're just willing to go and give it a go. So the feeling is around you, like, don't try and paint yourself into a corner. Just look at things as they happen. I have said this quite a lot just recently, that life is live and it's going to give you feedback and many sorts of different feedback. So just enjoy the ride over these next few months. Deal with that inner conflict, right? I'm having it sung at me at the moment about don't hold back. So I don't know what your guides and your inspirers are preparing you, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. Now, when I get horses in my third eye there, I think about changes. I think about action. I think about vehicles for change. Horses, for me, I'm a little bit scared of. So I always have the image in my mind that if I walked up to one that was peaceful and I cracked it on the backside just to say hello, just to help myself, it's likely to take off, normally with me being attached to it. So that's the image that I get in my mind with you at the moment, that once you sort of drop that handbrake, once you sort of tap the horse, then the momentum's going to start. It might be a little bit difficult to hang on to, but once it gets settled over the course of these next 3 months, I feel that life is going to stabilize. So just ride with the changes. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you. You're doing fantastic. Me and my friends have just started on YouTube. Right, I will find you if you message me later there, AD, and let me know, and I will subscribe to that. Thank you. Right, we keep going. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. AD, yeah, there we go. There we go. Right, so I'm doing a little bit of a shuffle. I hope you're staying on with me, guys, because as I say, it's fluctuating in and out, and some of the feedback I had the other day on something I did was that I took too long with people. Well, I feel like this is a luxury at the moment, because the readings will be a little bit longer because I've got the time to do them while I explain my way around this sort of thing. Oh, that's the card flying out there for you, AD. So if you're on here, I will stay on here until I've got the ones done. And oh, you've got 4 cards that have come out. So let's see where we're going with it, AD. Oh, interesting. All right, 4 cards, 2 finance cards, financial, and 1 swords and the justice card. Right, justice I'll start with. So justice for me is all about fair rational, thought-based processes. In its literal sense, when you get the book with this, it talks about legalities and dealing with people of that sort of mind. So solicitors, wills, anything there that's got a legal connotation to it. I always find that a little bit boring, right? And then I like to go along my own little pathway with that. So there. The problem at the moment, or the blockage, is this there, as we look there, that we've got the blinkers on, we've got the blindfold on. So how am I going to make progress if I can't see the path? So if I can't see the path, take away anything that is restricting my vision. So I'm then looking at perspective. So some of the things that I might have had on my path that have been set in place for a long, long time might need a little bit of contemplation, a little bit of thinking about, and then possibly removal. So that removes one barrier, one obstacle. But there's a lot going on around you. And how we're going to do this? Well, we're going to make these small steps. I've told this story many times before, but when I went up to see one of my good friends and mediums that I've done a lot of work with over the past, I went up for hypnotherapy with him as well. And in there, he got a picture of his granddad above the room that we went into. And his granddad came to me while I was sat there waiting for John. And he came through and he said that stumbling or striding, forward is forward. So sometimes with you, just make those tiny steps, make those adjustments, and you will be okay. Remove any self-imposed obstacles, remove any blinkers or any barriers there. Use your rational mind. Don't get too emotionally involved in things. Rationalize it. Use your logic. Right. Opportunities to make changes financially. So the ACE is all about brand new. So this is opportunities to either change jobs, change direction, change pathways. And as you said there, you're doing something different. And what I've learned over the course of these last 4 weeks that I've been doing this is that it's not going to be an easy job. Right, and it's going to apply consistency. This is why the conversation with Utch I was saying there that he's talking about taking the day off yesterday, which I did, and I was going to take time out of the system, but there's just like this driving me to get this off the ground. And to do that, I've got to put other things aside, and I'll do that. But with you as well, with all of these changes that are coming in, don't forget to take time out for you. So think about communications with this that can bring in those changes, like from job offers, career changes, things like that. But start looking at where you're actually spending your life's hours, and are they giving you best resource? I mean, I was talking again this morning with the missus about leaving the prison service, and I said, I don't think I've ever had anything that I've ever been any good at. I've had lots of different jobs and lots of different things. And she said, yeah, but you was a good prison officer, but the payoff for you didn't balance up. So I thought, yeah, she's right. Maybe I was decent at that, but all the other side of the coin slowed me down, and I felt physically ill with it. Now I haven't got the money, but I've got the lifestyle was balanced a little bit better. So there's periods of adjustment coming up for you, I feel. Nothing there to worry about or anything like that. Right, so we flip the other side of the coin there, and when I've got the 10 of swords, right, so thought processes, the way that you think and the way that you process information. The 10 is the top of the shop there in regards to the tarot number. The blue there is all about communication and speaking your truth. This is like a forewarning card. So the 9 will say that there's something there that's blocking your thoughts, or somebody there that we need a conversation with that's an obstacle to the truth. If you're empathic, as I sense, because I'm not quite sure what work you do, AD, but I've got a feeling it's something around caring, nursing, or something like that. You're also an empath. You look after people's best interests. And so you've got this belief system that give people enough chances and they'll change, because everybody's got a backstory that they've had the difficulties here and they've done this, that, and the other. But being in the prison service, I've seen the other side of it. There are bad people out there. So when I get this card, I just think, do you know what? There's something there that's got to end. And if I'm hoping for something that's going to turn out really well when my inner being's telling me that there's a problem, then I'm heading in for disappointment. So that card for me is what I would actually want with situations. You know, when it's sort of hanging about in the air, is this right? Is it okay? Is it all going to end well? No, quite simply, right, okay. So I prepare myself as much as I can for something that realistically I already know about, but I need that full stop before I can move on and change to do whatever it is that I need to do. So that card for me is talking to you about trusting your intuition that certain things have to end before those new starts can come in. If you persist on down that route with it, with the hope on that particular scenario, the likelihood is that it will get more and more painful until you accept the reality. Because that's my understanding of how the world works, that you'll get a nudge, you'll get a shove, and then you'll get a full-on push. So I like to get it before I get the full-on push. And I finish with the King of Pentacles, which has fallen out. And the King of Pentacles, king, an authority figure. Pentacles, money, finances, and enrichment. Dealing with male-dominated energies because it's the king, but the king is also a ruler. They're also earthbound people. They're what I call sorters. They get things in order. So this is about preparing your ground for going forward from now into the end of the year and into the beginning of next. Is all about sort of, it's almost like a farmer that's preparing that soil and broadcasting all of the seeds to see what comes up, because we've got the new starts there. The king there, as I'm seeing it in that way, is going to be the overseer. So lots of sorting for you to do, lots of prep work going in, but don't get bogged down by too much analytical thinking, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you. Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm laughing at that. Right, so just to make reference to that, the 3 words that I use in my quiz, if you look at my video from today, is unique, talented, and priceless. And the reason that I keep putting things on like that is because we're one-offs, right? We've got the skills. Sometimes we have to look deeper than others. So we've all got our own individual strengths. I don't believe in weaknesses. I believe in lesser strengths. Didn't like it at first, but now that's what I believe in. So we've all got our talents and our skills to get us through any given day. Right, and to be able to acknowledge all of that, then we are that unique thing that can't be put a price on, because there's nothing like it before, and there'll be nothing like it in the future. We're just us. So that makes us priceless. And the key to accepting all those 3 answers, unique, talented, and priceless, is to remember to keep looking in the mirror and just telling yourself that even on the darkest days, you're a one-off. You've got the skills. You've managed to negotiate this to this point of your life through all the difficulties, because this is where I say to people, well, if you hadn't managed it, you won't be here to talk about it. So you've dealt with the problem, haven't you? Yes, they do have knock-ons. I get that. But you're unique, talented, and priceless. So stick to it. All right. Thank you. I've spent... Yeah. Yes, I'll agree with you. You spent 48 years being exhausted within my work, but it's the whole part of the work. Yeah. And I also find with that, Joel, that at the end of the day, what you'll come to a point of either acceptance, or you will come to that point where it's your tipping point. I was mentally exhausted. And that was my issue. And I went till I couldn't go anymore. I knew that there was something seriously going to happen. I mean, it was the scariest thing in the world to walk away from a £30,000 a year job to go back to college, learning plastering and labouring. It just depends on how resilient you are. And I believe everybody's resilient, but at the end of the day, we can only take so much. So, and I also get that if you've been 48 years in something, then you get trapped. So I understand that completely. Here's a lovely lady. Hi, Mel. Hope you're well. Thank you very much. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Yeah. And I'm not just going to say this as a random comment. I understand this 100%. My father-in-law had MS, and it's horrible to watch the person that you knew gradually run out of gas, run out of steam, because what they couldn't do, or what they could do dead easily, they no longer could do. So yeah, I'm with you on that, and I send you out my love and my healing energies there. Oh, thanks, appreciate that. It's my first time here. Do you, Rick, dance by the best beat of your own drum? Right. I'm sat here in the treatment room, and just in my eyesight, just over there, Mrs. P got one of them drums, the expensive ones from the MBS fairs, Mind, Body, Spirit fairs. And one day she just says to me, right, let's go and give this a go with this drum. And she sat there, and there was all sorts of noises and things coming out there. And I always find that it helps with the energy around you, but I'm not a massive fan of it. And so I sat there, and I don't know what I was waiting to do. And she says, yeah, you have a go. And I felt so silly because I'd not got any musical skills or anything like that. Then she went, but it's not about that. It's about, like Mel's saying there, it's dancing to the beat of your own drum. Once you realise who you are, what you represent, this fantastic spiritual being that is trapped in a meat suit. And that's what it's like. So it's making the best of everything out there so that you shine. So, yeah. Paul, me and Paul, I'm trying to think. So I started at the prison in Stockton. I'd been in the job 6 years when I got there. So I think it was about 2007 when I got there. So where were we now? We're 16 years further on. Wow. Right. And we've still got a few comments to get through. So thanks very much. Yes. Yeah. It's another lady I've met from, it's a while ago. I hope the kids are doing well, and I hope life's treating you well, Litty. I hope you well, my friend. So let's see what we've got for you. Because I'm reading for Larissa as well, because I caught her comments very late on because I've got Facebook on. So I'm doing this through StreamYard and then sending it straight through to YouTube. But I was also doing it to Facebook, and I don't always see the comments on Facebook. So it's one of those. Right, so 3 cards. Right, okay. So I don't know what's going on around you. All right, whether there's a bit of argument, bit of discord with somebody, a little bit of upset there, and a little bit of miscommunication maybe. Because the 3 of Swords for me, right, so splitting the card down, blue is all about communication. Swords, if you look in there, the swords are piercing the heart, which is representative of swords are about thoughts. They're on about the way that you process information, the way that you deal with your speech when you're involved in situations with people. Might seem a little bit stormy around you, but I say I like to split the cards around. So sometimes it's a tug between the heart and the mind. So if the matters of the mind there, this is the one that we need to take account of in this given moment, because if the emotions start to override it, then we end up with arguments. Then we'll probably end up saying things that we regret. So this is my pain avoidance card here. All right, so 3 swords in there talking about separation of something. So is there somebody that you're at odds with? Is there something that would benefit from you just going, do you know what? Let's just leave it there before it gets any darker or any more difficult. Because whatever's going on, there's a tug going on. So it's painful. It's affecting you emotionally, but it's also logged in your head. So it's taking up headspace there. But the good thing about this card, look, once we get into that communication aspect of it, look at the brighter skies that are coming in behind you. So things may seem stormy at the moment, but hang fire there. Don't say anything that you'll regret later on. It's not giving in. It's not backing down, right? Sometimes it's just that bit of self-preservation, that survival, that I live to fight another day. We all get lumps and bumps in life, and there's hindsight. I always feel is 2020. When we look back, that if I'd have known that then, and if I'd have done that then and done that. But this is the thing: we don't get that opportunity. So that card for me is all about self-preservation as well. And the reason that I give that description with that is because I've also got the 8 of Cups there to back it up with. Now, the 8 of Cups, if you look at the guy that is walking in the direction, he's walking away from disturbed cups. He's walking away from situations that are emotionally sort of scattered and out of balance, out of whack, if you like. Orange, sacral chakra. Sacral chakra for me is all about processing. It's your intuition. It's about getting rid of old stuff that's there. It's also about preparing to start bringing in new things around you, but you can't bring in new things around you if you're using old programming. So what this card quite simply says is you've done what you can to solve a situation. You've done what you can to apply yourself to getting resolution to a situation around you. But there comes a point where it becomes detrimental to your own mental sanity, to your own well-being, if you keep persisting on, much like the Ten of Swords there. Sometimes if we keep having that hope there, when realistically we know that we're applying ourselves for no good reason, the fall is going to come that much harder. So for this card with you, notice where the cups are. Just concern yourself with the fact that you've done the best that you can in certain emotional situations, and now it's time to move on, time to walk forward into that, that new blue sky, but create a nice pathway. Don't hang on to any sad memories. Just put it wherever it needs to be, because you've got other things to do. And how are you going to do that? Well, this one I know to be true, because this is the Empress card. So this is about nurturing everything that's around you. I know what your energy is like. I've met you personally, and I do actually remember you, which is an unusual thing for me. But the Empress card for me is all about the Mother Earth. She's about the sort of person that looks after everybody. I've said this quite a lot recently as well, is learning as well. When we get a bit bogged down with stuff, look to your family. And I'm not necessarily talking your birth family. Look to the people that are like-minded, that are like you, that want to help you out, that want to give you that, that boost, want to help you go forward. You've got a very, very strong circle around you. So I know that will all be okay. So bring these things into being. I'm around you as well. I know you've recently had a baby, but when this card comes in, I'm just going to leave you with the thought of, I don't know whether you're planning more children, but I said this once before and it came back to haunt me, but I'm going to say it again. If you can't be good, be careful. And if you can't be careful, buy a pram. That shows my age a little bit there, because that's also about nature and giving birth to and giving life to. So just think on, just be careful. Dear, let me have a look what we got there. We work in healthcare as a nursing auxiliary. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, 100%. Thank you. So if we've got any more comments, guys, because as I say, we're 47 minutes in and I've got through all the comments. Does anybody there want a couple of cards? Or I'll pull it there, in a couple of minutes, I'll pull it there. Because it's still in that experimental stages. I've been on Trevor Kultz and looked at thousands of people looking at his fortune cookies that's got all of these big followings. And I'll give a shout out for that as well, because I am actually on fortune cookies page talking about mediumship on I believe it's the 22nd or the 23rd of this month. There's something coming out from Chromecast as well, where I've been on there and talked about my spiritual journey. I'm doing one in South Africa shortly as well with Priscilla Grendron, I think you pronounce it. So there's lots of stuff to help build mine up. Always going to give a shout out, whatever wide and wonderful stage that I get to the Fitness Hutch, because they're an inspiration, both of them. I go on there and, as I say, I know Paul. I've met Mel once physically at their house, but she was busy. So it was kind of like, not a strong connection. So my connections come through from seeing them on these broadcasts. Brilliant. Mel's very understated, but very knowledgeable. So if you've got things about mental health that you want to talk to a professional about, she's your lady. But they've got such a great balance going on. Paul caters for the physical. Mel caters for the mind and things like that, and it's a great thing, because what happens is that energy blends together, and that energy vibrates at a certain frequency, and it goes out and it attracts people to it that feed off that need for being uplifted, being helped, being motivated. And Paul's amazing at doing that. He's a beast in the gym. So they've got a combination. I said to him the other night that they're really, really going places. So it's just, for me, it's a thrill ride to watch. And then all of these people that have started to follow me now, I'm just so grateful. I mean, I would love to do things like this with my missus on there, but she doesn't like the camera and that sort of thing. She wouldn't feel comfortable with it, because I like to think that behind closed doors, me and the missus have got the same rapport that Mel and Paul have got. But it would not be her thing to sit there and do that. But she's an absolute inspiration to me to help that. And I see so much in the pair of them of what I do in our relationship. The idea, I keep looking back through these lives and just sort of seeing if there's anything there that I can tweak, change, things like that. So essentially, I am a medium and psychic, and I do offer readings both on the internet, Zoom and StreamYard, at my home if you're anywhere near Lincoln. I'm also prepared to travel, and I am slowly starting to get bookings coming off to do house parties. You know, I'm willing to drive anywhere within reason, as long as that I can pay my bills, because this is my full-time career. So it is possible. Right, let me just keep going. Yeah, so that is another comment. I will read for you in a minute, Samantha. I just need to make reference to this lady. I sat and watched the other night, and I was so full of admiration just watching, because she absolutely laid herself raw on there. No question was off limits. I was sat in the background watching, and she's got 5,000 followers, right? And she's got 5,000 followers because she's just honest. Right? There's no airs and graces. She tells you like it is. Maybe there's an expectation from me that I should gloss over when I'm not feeling in the right state of mind. But watching this lovely lady's broadcast, then the realization must come in at some point that we don't fire every day. We all have things in the background, I feel, that might hinder our progress. But she's absolutely brilliant at what she does. So go and watch her, because if you're feeling flat or anything like that, she's an inspiration, but she's absolutely straight John Bull, and I always respect people like that. Right, let me have a look. Let me see where we've gone there. Right, let's just look at that, and I will get to you. No more babies. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah. That's a little bit tongue in cheek as well there, but it was just that sense of seeing the mother card there that I know you've got two and good age range there, so you know, I don't know. I'm past all of that. You see, I'm 51 now. I don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Right. Did you hear me scream? Oh, I got to put that up as a comment. How awesome is that? Mr. Bit, as my dogs decided to carry a frog into the lounge from my garden. I know I didn't hear you screaming, but I've had to cope with dogs this afternoon that have been trying to get in my pocket. And one of my dogs is about 30 kilos, and he was trying to sort of get under my arm because of the storm. Oh dear. He's one of them that he'd make a better door than a window. Right, where am I going? Right, I've got to put that up just in case you haven't seen it, Litty. Oh, you're going to love this, aren't you? Right, where am I going? Just need to find that. Just need to find my comment. Just need to find the comment. There we go. There we go. Right. Guys, thanks ever so much for coming on there. So it's all an experiment. I'm learning. That one's fallen out. I'm learning on the job experience. I will find out eventually how to structurally putting it on there, because the thing is with StreamYard as well, that you only get so many hours that you can store on recording on the professional plan before you have to start paying extra money. Whereas you just go onto YouTube, drop on there and do that. But there was all this thing about key codes and this, that, and the other, and it just went right over my head. And I tried looking at it, and as you can see, the result was that the time that I scheduled, I didn't get there. Right, let me have a look. So I'm going to grab you a couple of cards there as well. And this is what I love as well. This is what I love as well. Look, backwards and forwards. Amazing. Brilliant. Right. So Let me get back before I get distracted. God, honestly, sometimes I'm such an airhead, but it's amazing. I just love this work so much. You know, I wish I'd have found this years ago. Because I mean, when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to be, was a show off. All I wanted to do was entertain people. And so, as I said on one of the broadcasters on the other night, that I was advised by other people that doing this work has this serious element to it. But instead of saying you're an entertainer, which I consider myself as, because I want to bring in upliftment, laughter, and a bit of guidance, then to say that you're of service. So that's what I've let Spirit know, that I'm of service. So this is this card, the Five of Swords. If we can get that just into the camera line there. The Five of Swords, right. So if we look at this picture here, there's somebody there that's got a victory. He's winning, but he's not bothered about the collateral damage that's going on around him. So rather than saying that this is you, this is somebody around you that you either need to be aware of, or you need to be in real time and just noticing what is actually going on. Because anything, and it's like the tower, anything that is built on rubbish foundations or rubbish beliefs, or anything that's sort of done in an immoral way, will eventually collapse. Right? So I don't know whether you believe in karma or whatever, but if you've got somebody around you that's in a position of power over you and you're just thinking, when's this going to stop? Right? It is going to come to a stop. Right? Communicate your needs and wishes, and don't be crushed by fear. Notice people there that are acting in an unethical way, because eventually it'll fall down around their ears. And don't be anywhere, you know, don't offer any understanding, don't offer any kind words or anything like that. This is where I'm not going to swear on this broadcast, but a turd is a turd. You know, sometimes it's difficult to accept when you think, well, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, and then they prove themselves time and time again. It's like, I saw that last time, but I didn't want to believe it. Well, this card for me is saying, right, it's not time to just watch people around you, observe. Fives are a bit of a strange number for me as well, because fives always represent from the four of stability up into the six, where we're making progression further on down the line. So it's almost like a fact gathering exercise, right? What's going on? What is truthfully, literally going on around me? What are my thoughts? What is my action plan? Whose thoughts, whose ideas do I need to disregard and clear out so that I can make, you know, I can help myself go forward? Time of celebration, because the Three of Cups is much like I was saying to Litty there. It's about pulling all of your people in and connecting in with people that are of a like mind with you. Do we need a get together? Do we need the families to come in and help us, you know, lift the spirits? I'm being shouted at to trust my intuition there as well. So I don't know who the lady in spirit that I've got talking to me, but she does feel like a motherly, grandmotherly figure around you, Samantha, that's coming in there. And I'm just like, I keep really being driven to keep sitting here rubbing my hands. Now there's a lot of heat being generated while I'm doing that. So the senses around you that you're a healer yourself. Right, be a bit right. Just indulge me a little bit with this one. Be a little bit selfish over these next couple of weeks. Heal your mind. Get in touch and just slow down things a little bit, and just get in touch with your inner being. I'm feeling the need to send out healing around the heart chakra, which is for me is like an emotional overload. So sometimes just like ignoring everything and coming to a complete stop and a standstill. Taking some massive deep breaths and blowing them out, you know, and then just seeing whereabouts you are, because I feel like you've been living your life on like a bit of an adrenaline buzz. So what my guides is saying to you, it's just time to just chill out for a little bit and survey the lay of the land. Don't make any rash decisions coming up. Just have a good look around what's actually going on around you. Your financial upliftment is closer than you realize, but like with everything, it's preparing for that next step on the journey. So look at where you're at financially, look at what your skill set is, and then if you're a worker, for a spiritual worker or anything like that, always make sure that you charge for your work when you're doing that, because All the best will in the world will not buy you a bread loaf at Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available. It's just one of those things that's got stuck in my head there. To gain my abundance, I've got to be there. Right? I've got to be in there, and I say, right, thank you. I welcome all of that to me. Not getting over anxious about how it's going to come in, but acknowledge it. And if there's changes there that need making, be brave enough to make that change. Transformation, right? So this is the thought that I'm going to leave a lot of people with. The transformation is within you all. Don't focus on rubbing out the dark spots. Don't focus on the things there that have not gone well. Just acknowledge that every now and again we do have a bad day. We do have an off day. But assuming that we get up the following morning, we've got that opportunity to make changes to what we didn't manage yesterday. So transformation for all of us coming in over this next year, I believe, a worldwide energy. But the thing is with me now, and what I learned yesterday, is that there's some days that I need to listen to that other side of me that's tired, that other side of that darkness of me, because it needs indulging. It needs an ear every time, because I thought all of that was long dead and buried. Yesterday showed me that I've still got work to do. So I embrace all sides of me, communicate with all sides, because I need all of them in reasonable harmony so that I can perform and that I can be of service, do all of my live work and all of the rest of it. So I've just clicked over the hour. So for the 9 of you that joined me and the other people that sat in the background, I want to thank everybody. I want to, I'm very, very grateful. I'm from the point of that I will acknowledge everybody. I am respectful, and I give a thank out always for those that have helped support me. All I can ask is that you invite people, if you like what I do, please invite people to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be emotionally in your debt for a long, long while. So come to the end of my time now. I'm going down for a cup of tea. I hope you've enjoyed what I've done. Thank you very much for tuning in. Much love and light to you, and God bless. Thank you.